Hi, welcome to Moyna Bass Fishes. I'm Jim Moyna, and we are going to talk about the MLF Toyota Series tournament here in Lake Dardenelle. I just rolled into town a couple days ago, got on the water yesterday for the first time, got up there half a day today, and our tournament's not for another few more days. So, like right now is a Thursday. So the tournament doesn't start till Tuesday. So I got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, half a day Monday. So I got 3.5 days left to practice, which I'll get in a good practice period for this one. Shouldn't be any excuses by the time the tournament comes rolling around. So, but yeah, so I am fishing. This is in the Southwest Division, and the whole reason why I'm doing the Toyota Series is to make the Toyota Series Championship Tournament. That's where you have first place, $200,000. It's a free tournament. It's a no entry fee tournament. That's the kind of place where I need to be fishing. Okay, so that's why I'm doing these Toyota Series tournaments. And this is a Southwest Division. There's several There's like 5 or 6 divisions. Okay, this is one of them. And each division's got 3 tournaments, and I've already had one. That was the first tournament I had this year in Lake Sam Rayburn, where I finished like 85th place or so out of, I don't know, like 200 guys, something like that, which was that is bad. That is not how you want to do it when you're trying to be in the top 25 for the end of the year points, because it's the top 25 that qualify for the championship. So I've got to post 2 really good finishes in the second and third tournament. But if let's say I post decent tournaments, but I still have that 85th place hanging over my head, and I need to improve that, I can always go to one of these other divisions and fish a couple more tournaments, and if you mix a bunch of tournaments from various divisions, your point total goes in this wild card pool of anglers of all the other guys who fished a bunch of mishmash type tournaments or divisions. So in this mishmash, they call it the wild card division. Then they take like 10 guys out of that to go in the championship. So even if you bomb one of the 3 tournaments, all's not lost. You can always go to some of these other divisions and pick up a tournament here, a tournament there, and get yourself in there through the wild card route, which hopefully I don't have to do that, because the individual tournaments themselves are really not economically sound, this from a bass fisherman standpoint. And by that I mean the expenses that you risk, just really the winnings at the tournament site for that tournament really aren't justified for what you put, for your expenses. Uh, so if you can just break even on the expenses and get into that championship and cash in there, that's the deal. But I mean, you can still win. Like first place in this tournament here is still going to be like 50-60,000 probably. So yeah, that's awesome. But 10th place is probably going to be, it's going to be way less, like 5,000. And 5th place is probably only going to be like 7 or 8,000, something like that. So really, to even to justify competing here, or this is what you're risking, or this is what you're going for at this tournament, I'm putting up like nearly $2,000 entry fee plus $1,000 expenses. So that's like $1,000. By expenses, I mean boat gas, truck gas to get here, lodging, some of the tackle I use, fishing license. So that's like $1,000 there. So we're looking at like $3,000 to do this tournament, and to recoup that money, I got to finish like 20th place or better, I think, from what I recall. So, and to make money, you really got to finish like 10th place or better to even make anything. So, and there's going to be in this tournament, I don't know how many anglers are going to get It's going to be anywhere from 150 to 200 anglers, I'm guessing. We'll find out, I guess, at registration. So, anyhow, that is the goal, to make this top 25 and go on to the Toyota Series Championship that'll be held later this fall. So, got my work cut out. Okay, what about, Lake Dardenelle? That's where I'm at. Lake Dardenelle, I fished here one time several years ago, and it was some kind of summer, either late summer, early fall. But anyways, all that, anything I learned there for that tournament is not going to apply for this one. We have a lot of muddy water out here on Lake Dardenelle. A lot of just heavily stained. Visibility is, visibility is like this to like this from what I've seen so far. Unless if you get in the back of something that's got a spring coming in, then you might have a little bit more. But very limited water clarity, especially for here. And we got tomorrow, it's supposed to be some severe storms coming through. So we're going to have more rain coming in. And so who knows what's going to happen. It depends on how much rain they get, but maybe it'll muddy it up even more. I don't know. So, but anyways, the fish are accustomed to this watercolor because I think it's been like that for a while. And so it just kind of a general guideline for muddy water. Fresh mud is bad. Okay, fresh mud is bad. And by that I mean if you have a lake that's clear and then all of a sudden you have a big influx of muddy water from heavy runoff or releases upstream from due to heavy rains and the lake muddies up, that fresh mud is bad. But so you get that initial muddy up phase, but really it doesn't take long for the fish to adapt and to figure out that, hey, they're going to have to start using their lateral line to start hunting down, because I think bass use their sight a lot, especially smallmouth in the north. But anyways, we're in the south right now. Bass use their vision a lot, and the muddier it gets, though, the more that lateral line sense comes into play. So these fish, when you're talking water clarities like this, yeah, these fish are using their lateral line to hone in on stuff. And the fish have to, from using their vision to now using their lateral line, that's just, yeah, it's a little adjustment for the fish. A friend of mine, old-time friend, met him many years ago as a co-angler, T.R. Fuller is his name, from Auburn, Alabama. He once told me that you got to have 3 days after the initial muddy up period. Give it 3 days and those fish will start hitting in that muddy water. And then what also can happen is it can start clearing a little bit. So it'll might muddy up and then it'll start clearing slightly, and and presto, those fish will start biting again. So yeah, even though we got some muddy water here, it's the fish should be acclimated to it by now. So can't get too worried about that. So that's the other thing. What kind of baits do you want to throw in muddy water? You want to throw baits that throw off just baits that move a lot of water or send off a big vibration. So you want like a chatterbait's good because that's got that nice thump to it. Spinner bait with especially with the Colorado blade on there, that's got more of a thump than a willow blade typically. So those are good. And then just any loud or just hard wobbling type crankbaits. Then surface bait, if the fish are going to go for a surface bait, which I don't know if they're going for that out here or not. I did have one hit a surface bait today. Just one though. So, but anyways, a surface bait can be a bait they can hone in on. And then if you're going to flip stuff, generally speaking, just bulk up just a little bit from what you normally might do. And I know a lot of guys like to throw rattles on their jigs, put rattles in their tubes and flipping tubes and this and that. So I, I've never been able to prove for myself if that actually works or not, but some of the best in the business swear by it. So um, I've learned that if somebody specializes at flipping muddy water with a jig, and they say they like a rattle in their jig when it's like that, I don't know. I almost have to just concede and go along with them because I'm not a muddy water jig flipping specialist by any means. That's probably my problem to begin with. Is I'm not a specialist of any kind. I know a little bit enough about each technique to I can cash checks on just about on any technique. It's just mastering those techniques and winning with them, I guess, has maybe been my issue over the years. So anyhow, okay, what else? Yeah, so um, Lake Dardenelle. So I'll be reporting in on with each catch or each day's action in practice, and of course during the competition. But just note that in practice, I'm maybe a little more tight-lipped about some of the things I might be doing, some things I might say. But I'll say this: I think the fish were probably biting today. We had good fish biting weather today. It was kind of in and out. It was mostly cloudy, a little bit of sunshine here and then, but we got some storm systems coming. And anytime you're leading into a storm system, that's usually got the fish eating. So we had a little bit of storms here tonight. I think the fish were kind of active. I didn't catch a lot of fish because, well, I fished for about 2/3 of the day because I did have to do some stuff for Bridgeford today, sponsor wise, for that other third of the day. But so yeah, so um, what was I saying? Oh, the weather, the fish biting. Okay, yeah. So tomorrow we're actually gonna have the severe weather come through. Fish should be active again tomorrow. Um, so if I'm not catching fish tomorrow, I'm definitely in the wrong area. Okay, so when it's fish catching weather and you're not catching fish, then you know you're like in no man's land for fish. So you always keep that in mind. So, anyways, yeah. So, like, well, for example, how many did I caught? Maybe 7 or 8 today. Keepers. I think it's a 14-inch size limit to be a keeper here. So, and the fish are. It's right on the. We're right on the cusp of the spawn. Just like at my last tournament at Clark's Hill in the MLF Invitational Series, that fishery is right on the cusp of spawners. In fact, they just started to begin spawning right during that tournament. Here, it's kind of looking the same way. I haven't caught any post spawn fish at all. The fish I'm catching are I think they're either males, or I've caught a couple of just really plump, and they are really plump. The females here. I mean, they weren't big females. I caught one that was maybe 3.5 pounds, and another one that was like 2 3/4 pounds. There were females with just I mean, they were so thick. They almost looked like, not quite, but those California bass I'd eat trout. And I mean, it wasn't quite like that, but that shape was very robust through the belly for sure. So these fish are really healthy here. They must be eating it. Must be have plenty of nutritious goodies to eat out here. So problem is, I'm not catching a lot of them. It's got to fish a long time between bites typically, and it's going to be one of those tournaments. And really, I'm fishing this fishery before the masses of most of the fields probably not here yet. They're probably coming in tomorrow on the Friday. A lot of the guys have full-time jobs, so they'll get here Friday, and they'll practice Saturday, Sunday, and half a day Monday. And the reason why I say half a day is because that's registration day. So we fish for half a day and then got to come off the water, do registration, and so forth. So a lot of guys are probably, some guys probably got here, been trickling in the last few days, but tomorrow I think the bulk of them are going to show up. And when that happens, see, now I've been fishing ahead of that wave, so I'm catching all these easy fish. So once this lake has had 3-4 days of pressure put on it by the 150, 200 boats, yikes, that's going to be we'll see how it fishes then. Okay, because I don't think this is this is not like an awesome type fishery here. This is just an okay fishery, but it's susceptible. I believe it's susceptible to fishing pressure. Don't know that for sure, but it kind of seems like it might be. So, all right, that's enough of me, and thanks for watching. And I will be coming at you again tomorrow. Over.